Hello, my friends. Every year, thousands of gold prospectors across the world recover millions of dollars in gold nuggets hidden beneath the gravel of ancient riverbeds. What once required months of grueling labor with primitive tools is now achieved, with advanced techniques and modern equipment, allowing prospectors to extract thousands of gold nuggets from rivers every single month. But how exactly is this possible? How do gold hunters identify the richest riverbeds? And what methods are used today to recover such extraordinary quantities of gold? In this video, we'll reveal the fascinating process behind this booming practice and why riverbeds remain one of the most surprising sources of gold in the modern world. Gold has always held a timeless allure. Since ancient civilizations first panned for gold in shallow streams, the quest to find these elusive nuggets has never stopped. Today, the global artisanal gold mining sector alone recovers an estimated 500 to 600 metric tons of gold each year, a significant portion of which still comes from river-based operations. In countries like the United States, Australia, Brazil, and Canada, thousands of river prospectors operate independently, some recovering thousands of gold nuggets each month using both traditional and cutting-edge techniques. But why do riverbeds hold so much gold? The answer lies deep underground. Gold originates from primary sources, hard rock gold veins that form under extreme geological pressure. Over millions of years, natural weathering and erosion break down these rock formations, releasing free gold into nearby waterways. During heavy rains and floods, rivers act like massive conveyor belts, transporting gold particles downstream. Because gold is 19 times heavier than water, and far denser than sand or gravel, it quickly sinks to the riverbed, where it becomes trapped in natural crevices, behind boulders, and in layers of compacted gravel. Over time, these deposits can accumulate astonishing amounts of gold. Modern gold prospectors begin by identifying target river zones with the highest probability of containing pay streaks, rich layers of gold-bearing material. Satellite imagery, historical mining records, and advanced geological mapping help narrow the search. But no tool is more effective than local knowledge. Seasoned prospectors know how to read a river, recognizing subtle shifts in flow patterns, gravel composition, and ancient flood terraces that often hide concentrated gold deposits. Once a promising site is selected, prospectors start with test panning, scooping small amounts of riverbed material and carefully washing it in pans to detect the presence of gold. A few visible flakes or micro nuggets in the pan can indicate a much richer pay zone below. If gold is present, larger-scale recovery begins. The most common recovery method for small and medium-scale river prospectors today is the use of sluice boxes. These simple but highly effective devices allow prospectors to process large volumes of river gravel quickly. A sluice box consists of an inclined channel lined with riffles and specialized mats. As river sediment is shoveled into the box and washed with flowing water, lighter materials are swept away, while the heavier gold settles and is trapped behind the riffles. Experienced prospectors adjust water flow rates and sluice angles with precision to maximize capture efficiency. On more remote or larger-scale sites, motorized highbankers are used. These are portable sluice boxes, equipped with water pumps that allow miners to process material away from the river, giving access to pay layers not exposed by current water levels. With a highbanker, a skilled team can recover dozens or even hundreds of gold nuggets in a single productive day. But for the most ambitious river gold operations, dredging remains the most powerful technique. A gold dredge operates like an underwater vacuum cleaner, sucking up riverbed material through a large suction hose and processing it through a floating sluice system. Modern dredges are capable of recovering gold from deep within river channels, zones, inaccessible to traditional panning or high banking. Powerful dredges operated by skilled divers can extract hundreds to thousands of gold nuggets per month in rich rivers, transforming the fortunes of determined prospectors. Yet river gold recovery is far from easy. The work is physically demanding and often dangerous. Prospectors face unpredictable water levels, powerful currents, and hazardous riverbed conditions. Equipment must be constantly maintained and fuel supplies carefully managed in remote areas. But the lure of glittering gold drives many to embrace these hardships. For experienced river miners, few sights compare to the thrill of seeing dozens of fresh gold nuggets glistening in the sluice mats after a long day of work. As techniques evolve, so does technology. In recent years, prospectors have begun using underwater metal detectors to target hidden gold pockets with incredible precision. Combining traditional panning with electronic detection allows miners to recover nuggets missed by larger equipment, maximizing every gram extracted from the river. Yet despite all advancements, the core principles of river gold recovery remain the same: patience, observation, and perseverance. For every prospector striking it rich, many more spend long weeks recovering only modest amounts. But the potential rewards remain irresistible. River gold is pure, beautiful, and ready to be shaped into coins, jewelry, or held as a timeless investment. For experienced gold prospectors, the difference between finding a handful of flakes and recovering thousands of gold nuggets each month often comes down to one key skill: understanding the river. Beneath the water's surface, riverbeds are complex and dynamic environments. The flow of water shapes where gold settles and where it disappears. Knowing how to read the signs of a river, subtle variations in sediment layers, the alignment of boulders, the texture of the gravel, can unlock hidden pay zones that inexperienced miners would overlook. One of the most valuable insights for modern prospectors comes from studying hydraulic gold traps. These are natural features of a riverbed where the flow of water slows down or eddies form, allowing heavy particles like gold to settle and concentrate. Behind large boulders, in deep cracks in bedrock beneath compacted layers of ancient gravel. These are the zones where rich deposits of gold nuggets may lie. Skilled prospectors carefully map these zones using both visual observation and probing tools like weighted poles and underwater cameras. Understanding the seasonal dynamics of a river is equally important. During flood season, powerful currents may move large volumes of gravel and redistribute gold across new areas of the riverbed. Prospectors who return after a major flood often find fresh pay streaks exposed where none existed before. Timing is crucial. Working a riverbed immediately after water levels drop can reveal highly concentrated patches of newly settled gold. At this stage, prospectors focus on methodically testing and expanding their operation. Once an initial promising zone is identified, systematic sampling begins. Small trenches are dug at regular intervals to expose the pay layer, and material from each test is panned or run through a small sluice. Detailed records are kept to map gold distribution across the site. This data-driven approach allows the prospector to prioritize the richest zones for full-scale recovery. In established operations, this sampling phase is followed by bulk processing. Teams use a combination of manual and mechanized methods to move large volumes of gravel efficiently. Shovels and buckets may be used in shallow areas, while portable dredges or highbankers handle deeper and more compacted zones. Every piece of equipment is optimized for maximum gold recovery. Riffles are adjusted to handle varying sediment sizes. Matting is selected to capture both fine gold and larger nuggets. Water flow rates are carefully controlled to prevent gold loss. But volume alone does not guarantee success. The true art of river gold mining lies in precision. Experienced prospectors spend countless hours refining their techniques, learning how to adjust their sluices for different types of gravel, how to spot the subtle shimmer of gold dust on a pan, and how to distinguish truly rich pay zones from barren ground. This knowledge, built through years of practice, is what enables them to recover thousands of gold nuggets, while others leave empty-handed. Technology also plays an increasing role in modern operations. Many prospectors now use portable sonar and ground-penetrating radar to scan the riverbed for hidden pockets of ancient gravel. These tools can reveal buried layers that would otherwise remain undisturbed, providing valuable targets for excavation. Some even use drone-based mapping to analyze river flow patterns from above, identifying promising areas with greater speed and accuracy than ever before. Once pay zones are located, the process of excavation and processing begins in earnest. Depending on the depth and structure of the target layer, prospectors may need to build temporary cofferdams to divert water and expose the riverbed. In deeper zones, dredging remains the most effective method. Divers equipped with powerful suction hoses and underwater lights work methodically across the riverbed, vacuuming up gold-rich gravel and feeding it through floating sluice systems. The most experienced divers can identify productive zones by feel alone, using their hands to detect the compact iron-stained gravels that signal rich gold deposits. Throughout the process, careful attention is paid to every stage of recovery. Sluice mats are inspected and cleaned regularly to prevent clogging. Concentrates are collected and meticulously panned to extract every visible flake and nugget. Magnetite and black sands are separated and examined, as they often signal the presence of nearby gold. No detail is too small when dealing with a material as dense and as valuable as gold. Meanwhile, safety remains a constant concern. River mining is inherently risky. Fluctuating water levels, unstable gravel banks, and the physical demands of prolonged underwater work all pose significant hazards. Prospectors must remain vigilant, monitor river conditions closely, and work in teams to ensure rapid response to any emergency. Many veteran miners carry personal locator beacons and underwater communication systems to enhance safety during deep dredging operations. Despite these challenges, the rewards can be extraordinary. In particularly rich stretches of river, it fares not uncommon for a well-run operation to recover several kilograms of gold nuggets in a single productive month. Nuggets range in size from tiny flakes to multi-ounce specimens worth tens of thousands of dollars each. Some of the largest recorded nuggets recovered in modern river operations weigh over 50 ounces, a single find capable of transforming a prospector's fortune overnight. The most successful prospectors maintain strict records of their finds, cataloging each nugget by size, weight, and location. This data not only provides valuable insights for future operations, but also enhances the value of larger nuggets when sold. Well-documented nuggets with known provenance command premium prices from collectors and investors alike. Equally important is discretion. In the world of river gold mining, secrecy is often the difference between long-term success and a site swarmed by opportunists. Experienced prospectors take great care to conceal their most productive locations, working at odd hours and camouflaging equipment to avoid drawing attention. Stories abound of rich pay streaks discovered one season and overrun by rival miners the next. In this competitive environment, trust among team members and careful site management are critical. As operations progress, the team continuously refines its techniques. Feedback loops between divers, dredge operators, and surface crew allow for real-time adjustments. If a particular section of riverbed yields fewer nuggets than expected, operations shift to new zones based on updated sampling data. Conversely, when a rich pocket is found, all available resources are focused on maximizing recovery before natural forces or human competition intervene. Yet even the most efficient operation must contend with the unpredictable nature of river mining. Some days yield buckets of gleaming nuggets, others produce little but black sand and fatigue. Success requires not only skill and technology, but also resilience and a willingness to embrace uncertainty. For seasoned prospectors, this is part of the appeal. Each new day on the river offers the potential for discovery, the chance to recover another handful of nature's most coveted treasure. As the prospectors' sluice boxes filled with shimmering concentrates and coarse gold, a crucial new phase of their operation began, processing and refining the precious metal. At this stage, the goal was not merely to recover every visible nugget, but to ensure that even the tiniest specks of fine gold hidden in dense black sands were not lost. It is here that experience, patience, and precision made the difference between a good haul and a record-breaking one. First, the concentrates collected from the sluice mats were transferred into large pans or specialized gold separation equipment. Seasoned prospectors often relied on spiral gold wheels, devices that used a controlled flow of water and a rotating spiral groove to gradually separate gold from lighter materials. The spiral motion forced lighter sand outward, while dense gold migrated inward, where it was collected and stored. For many small operations, this was an essential tool. capable of processing many kilos of concentrates in just a few hours. However, spiral wheels and sluices could only go so far. Fine gold particles, often called flour gold, required even greater care. To capture this elusive fraction, prospectors turned to blue bowl concentrators or mercury-free gravity systems designed for ultra-fine recovery. These machines, though slow, were capable of extracting nearly every particle of gold down to sub-micron size. No prospector who aimed to recover thousands of nuggets each month could afford to overlook this stage. Flour gold might seem insignificant in individual particles, but collectively, it often represented 10 to 20% of the operation's total gold value. Alongside technical equipment, the human element remained paramount. Experienced hands were still the most reliable tool for visually inspecting concentrates. Under powerful magnifying lamps, team members meticulously examined every processed batch, plucking out gold nuggets, pickers, and chunky flakes one by one. Each piece was logged, weighed, and categorized. Larger nuggets were kept separate from finer gold to maximize their eventual market value. But recovery was only the first challenge. Prospectors faced another crucial decision: how to clean their raw gold for maximum appeal to buyers. Nuggets freshly recovered from riverbeds often came coated with a film of iron oxide, clay, or manganese staining, materials that dulled their natural luster. To remove these impurities, prospectors used gentle chemical baths, often based on weak nitric acid or ultrasonic cleaners, combined with manual scrubbing. The goal was to enhance the visual appeal of the gold while preserving its natural river-worn character, highly prized by collectors. It was during this phase that the true nature of the gold haul emerged. Each nugget told its own story. Some retained the sharp crystalline edges of freshly liberated gold, indicating that they had not traveled far from their original source. Others displayed the classic flattened and rounded shape of long-traveled river gold, polished by centuries of tumbling downstream. Among these, the rarest and most valuable pieces stood out: natural gold crystals, wire gold, and dendritic formations that fetched premiums far above their melt value. Equally important was the discovery of coarse gold clusters, aggregations of small nuggets fused with natural quartz or ironstone matrix. These specimens were especially prized by jewelers and collectors, as their unique patterns made them ideal for custom jewelry or display pieces. As the team sorted through their haul, several such clusters emerged, hinting at both the richness of the deposit and the geological forces that had shaped it. Meanwhile, the practical challenges of handling, storing and safeguarding the recovered gold demanded constant vigilance. With thousands of dollars in loose gold passing through their hands daily, the prospectors maintained strict security protocols. Nuggets and fine gold were stored in double-locked containers, and records were meticulously updated after each session. Only a few trusted team members handled the most valuable material, a precaution born of hard-earned experience. Once processed and documented, the next phase began, preparing the gold for sale and distribution. Here again, strategy was key. While most prospectors dreamed of selling directly to premium collectors or boutique jewelers, where large nuggets could command 2 to 3 times melt value, this was not always practical. Much of the monthly production had to be sold wholesale to ensure steady cash flow. To maximize returns, the team adopted a tiered sales strategy. The largest nuggets, typically over 5 grams, were photographed professionally and offered through private channels to established buyers. These pieces often fetched the highest premiums. Medium nuggets, between 1 and 5 grams, were packaged in small lots and sold to retail dealers or online gold buyers, catering to hobbyists and collectors. Finally, fine gold, flakes, flour gold, and small pickers, was sold by weight, usually to regional refiners or gold-buying operations specializing in melt-grade material. In a well-run operation, the majority of profits came from premium sales of larger nuggets. These rare pieces, often with unique shapes or brilliant luster, commanded intense demand in niche markets. Stories abounded of 1-ounce river nuggets fetching upwards of $3,000, $4,000, simply because of their aesthetic appeal and documented provenance. To capitalize on this demand, the team invested in high-quality photography and maintained relationships with premium buyers worldwide. But while sales and marketing consumed part of the team's attention, the river called them back. No serious prospector could rest on a single month's haul. Rivers are living systems, dynamic, ever-changing, and the richest pay zones of today could be barren tomorrow. Moreover, word traveled fast. As soon as rumors of a productive site reached the wider prospecting community, competition would inevitably follow. To stay ahead, the team embraced a continuous cycle of exploration and recovery. Even as one part of the crew processed gold for sale, others scouted new sections of river. Sonar surveys and probing continued daily, seeking out pockets of ancient gravel or unworked bedrock. The goal was to maintain a steady pipeline of productive zones, ensuring that gold recovery remained consistent month after month. This adaptive strategy paid dividends. By spreading their efforts across multiple zones, the team reduced risk. If one pocket played out, others could sustain operations. Moreover, working multiple sites prevented overexploitation of any single area, preserving both future yields and good relations with local authorities. Sustainable low-impact mining was not just a legal necessity, but a strategic choice. In many regions, prospectors who maintained clean operations and good community relations earned preferential access to river leases and permits. Meanwhile, data accumulated from each month's work fed back into a growing geological model of the river. Patterns emerged. Certain bends consistently yielded coarse gold, others were barren despite promising surface signs. By analyzing gold distribution alongside sediment composition and river hydrodynamics, the team gradually built an intuitive map of the river's ancient gold pathways, knowledge that became their greatest competitive advantage. Yet success in river gold mining remained an exercise in balance. Too aggressive an approach risked drawing attention and regulatory scrutiny. Too cautious, and opportunities might be lost to faster-moving rivals. The team walked this line daily, striving for maximum yield with minimal footprint, a formula that had earned them their reputation as one of the region's most effective and respected gold recovery crews. And as each new month began, with river flows shifting and fresh gravels exposed, the cycle renewed. Each pan of gravel held the same tantalizing question: what treasures might lie beneath the surface this time? In the next part of our story, we'll follow the team as they confront new challenges, unexpected floods, equipment breakdowns, and the relentless march of competitors, and explore the cutting-edge tools and techniques that allow them to stay one step ahead. As the team moved deeper into the dry season, the river's flow receded further, revealing new stretches of exposed bedrock and ancient gravel bars. This was a golden window of opportunity, one that every seasoned prospector understood would not last. With each passing day, the riverbed became a more challenging yet more enticing arena, and the team was determined to make the most of it. They began by tackling the sections of river that had previously been inaccessible due to high water or unstable conditions. Using inflatable pontoons and lightweight scaffolding, they constructed temporary platforms that allowed them to reach promising pockets beneath large boulders and sheer rock faces. In these zones, the team employed a combination of manual and mechanical methods: crevicing tools to clean deep cracks in the bedrock, high-suction dredges to remove dense gravel, and specialized underwater vacuums to collect fines and flour gold. The deeper they worked, the more evident it became that these untouched pockets held some of the richest concentrations of gold. Nuggets nestled in bedrock traps, undisturbed for centuries, began to emerge, some bearing quartz matrix, others polished to a soft gleam by the river's timeless flow. One afternoon, while clearing a particularly narrow crevice beneath a massive slab of schist, the team's lead prospector uncovered a cluster of nuggets fused together by mineral deposits, an exceptionally rare find that drew gasps from the crew. Yet as success grew, so too did the challenges. Equipment pushed to its limits began to show signs of wear. Pump motors overheated, hoses clogged with compacted silt, and the constant cycle of heavy lifting taxed both machinery and muscles. The crew adapted quickly, establishing a rotating maintenance schedule to keep operations running smoothly. At night, while some rested, Others worked by lamplight to clean and repair the day's tools. In river prospecting, adaptability and preparation often spelled the difference between triumph and failure. Meanwhile, the competitive landscape had shifted. Word of the team's productivity had spread through informal channels, and rival prospectors began to appear along nearby stretches of river. Some set up discreet camps, while others openly staked claims. The atmosphere grew tense, not hostile, but charged with unspoken rivalry. In response, the team intensified their focus on discretion and speed. They varied their work hours, camouflaged equipment when not in use, and prioritized extraction from their most productive zones before competition could encroach. But beyond the human competition, nature itself remained the team's greatest adversary. In the fourth week of intensified operations, an unexpected thunderstorm upstream sent a surge of water racing through the narrow channels. Within hours, the river level rose nearly 2 feet, submerging much of the exposed bedrock. The team reacted swiftly, evacuating sensitive equipment, securing sluice boxes, and repositioning pumps to higher ground. Though the flood subsided, within a day, the event served as a sobering reminder of the river's unpredictable power. Undeterred, the team adapted their approach. Rather than pausing operations entirely, they shifted focus to areas along the river's margins where new gravels had been deposited by the flood. Here, quick sampling revealed that the river itself had done part of their work, concentrating fresh deposits of fine gold and small nuggets in shallow eddies and behind natural obstructions. For a week, the team reaped this unexpected bounty, supplementing their deeper recovery efforts with easily processed surface material. As the expedition neared its planned conclusion, the team faced critical decisions, with fatigue mounting and logistical constraints pressing in, supplies dwindling, equipment aging. They needed to determine when to call an end. Yet the allure of the river remained potent. Each day's work still yielded new surprises. A large flat nugget here, a rare crystalline fragment there. In one particularly productive afternoon, the team recovered a nugget weighing nearly 1.2 ounces, the largest single piece of the expedition. Finally, with rising water and shifting weather patterns signaling the season's close, the team began the painstaking process of dismantling their operation. Sluice boxes were cleaned and packed. Equipment was transported out in stages. Every last pan of concentrate was processed and logged. By the end, their combined haul stood at an astonishing figure. Over 4,000 individual nuggets and pickers, dozens of large high-grade specimens, and several kilos of fine gold, together worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. But perhaps more valuable than the gold itself was the knowledge gained. Detailed maps, sediment profiles, and recovery logs provided a rich foundation for future expeditions. The river, they had learned, still held vast untapped potential, zones beyond the reach of casual prospectors, accessible only through the hard-earned expertise and methodical persistence that this team had demonstrated. As they packed the final crates and prepared to leave the site, the mood was one of reflection. The river had once again proven both generous and humbling, a force of nature that rewarded patience and punished complacency. In their final evening around the campfire, the team shared stories of the season's triumphs and challenges. They knew they would return, but also that no two expeditions were ever the same. The river changed with every flood, every season, every shifting current. For those drawn to this ancient pursuit, that was part of the magic. Gold might glitter and tempt, but it was the process, the chase, the unknown, the connection to the land that kept them coming back. Each nugget was not just a prize, but a chapter in a story that spanned millennia. And for you watching this video, perhaps you too feel the pull of the river, the call of hidden treasures waiting beneath its surface. If so, remember, success is not measured by weight alone, but by the knowledge gained, the patience honed, and the journey itself. If you enjoyed today's exploration, let us know in the comments. Would you dare take on the river's challenge yourself? And don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories from the world of gold prospecting and beyond. Until next time, may your pans be full and your adventures rich.